Attending Comic-Con for the first time is an experience like no other. I remember mine. It was 2010's New York Comic-Con, and the Javits Center was flooded with crazy cosplayers, impressive collectibles, the legacy that is Stan Lee, and this. For those of you who haven't been to a convention yet, you should highly consider checking one out because the experience alone is worth it. But it's important to be prepared and aware of the logistics, otherwise you're in for one stressful weekend. Worry not, because I've compiled the ultimate guide on how to Comic-Con. Whether it's your neighborhood convention or the Big Daddy itself, these tips will help you understand when to prepare, what to expect, and how to enjoy your time while there. Before we dive in though, let's answer this question for the newbies out there. What is Comic-Con? Short for Comic Convention, it's a multi-day event usually held over the weekend, where fans ranging from your anime weebs to your fantasy fanatics gather to geek out. Now some attend just to collect rare comics. Some just like to cosplay as their favorite characters. Some come just for the video games, while others just want to know what the hoopla is all about. Typical Comic-Cons are held in large areas like convention centers because it does take a ton of space to hold the various events it has. You'll find panels, tournaments, tons of vendor shops, artist alleys, and so much more. Now that you have a glimpse of what Comic-Con is all about, let's move on to the main event. So you're ready to take part in your first convention. What to do first? Well, you can start by reserving your hotel accommodations, which I would highly suggest finding one as close to the convention as you possibly can. Now, even if the convention hasn't officially announced their dates for the upcoming year, just do a little research and check out the previous year's dates. Conventions generally hold their event around the same weekend every year. For example, New York Comic Con usually takes place in early October. Atlanta's Dragon Con occurs on Labor Day weekend. And Anime Expo in Los Angeles typically happens during 4th of July weekend. Look, it's common knowledge, and proactive attendees take every advantage possible because they know reserving hotels can be a nightmare if you wait too long. So do yourself a favor and take care of that before all else. Next is transportation, and finding the best deals can be challenging, but there are some good general rules to consider. If you're going solo and your convention is across the country, finding a flight might be a good option, especially for the discount airlines. If you're traveling with friends, then carpooling is a great way to save money for everyone. If the convention is in a big city like New York City or Chicago, you could try considering taking an overnight bus because you're not only guaranteed to arrive there early, but can potentially save a hotel night in the process. Lastly, registering online for tickets is a quick and painless process, and it beats waiting in line on the first day of a convention. You can pre-order your tickets through their website. Now, when it comes to passes, unless you're 100% sure you're attending for a single day, it's best to choose the weekend pass, as you get the most bang for your buck. You might want to consider VIP passes, which add extra perks like custom merch, priority seating, and even tickets to exclusive events. Now, the prices are higher, so if you can afford it and you want a fuller experience, this could be beneficial. Now, once you've chosen your pass, all you do is enter your personal and payment information, and you're done. You should immediately receive a confirmation email, and you'll need that to pick up your badge, so don't lose that email. And I would also advise on printing a paper copy just in case. The convention starts once you leave that door, and that's a philosophy I live by each and every time I go to one. That means having everything you need already packed to prevent that unnecessary trip to Walmart for a single toothbrush. Now consider packing some of these items for your first convention. If you think you have enough clothes, well, add an extra set just in case of an emergency. Bring a light sweater or a hoodie if you are the type to get cold easily, because the convention floor stays pretty cold. Now this may seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people lack good hygiene. This means having soap or body wash, deodorant, shampoo, a toothpaste and toothbrush, and anything else you usually bring to stay feeling fresh. Take a battery backup with you, because there is nothing more frustrating than a dying phone and a lack of available electrical outlets. Now, con crud is the worst. After the convention, you'll start feeling like you got the plague, and you can bet your bottom dollar that'll happen to you too. That's because you'll be around so many people, stay up way too late, and eat like crap all weekend long. But you can mitigate your chances by bringing some vitamin C. And don't forget to bring sanitizer to keep yourself from catching germs. Convention food is generally pretty basic and overly expensive, so just pack your own snacks instead, like some fruit or energy bars. Save that cash to use for actual good food outside of the convention. Pack a reusable water bottle so that you can stay hydrated throughout the convention, as there are plenty of water fountains for refills. Bring your most comfortable shoes too, because you'll be walking around a lot, and your feet will be thanking you profusely for that decision. Take a small item like a book with you to keep you occupied if and when you have some downtime. Also, bring a sturdy backpack to bring your essential items while walking the convention floor. When it comes to conventions, the first thing you're going to need to accept is that you won't attend every single event that you want, as there are just too many to count. And that's okay, because you need to retool your strategy. Choose 2 or 3 events that you must see, and spend the rest of your time exploring the convention halls, doing whatever else you want. Check out the vendors hall, the artist alley, hang out with your friends, take pictures with cosplayers. Just enjoy your time there. Now, conventions post their full schedule a couple weeks in advance, so you have to wait until then to visit their website in order to plan out your schedule. And if you plan to enter a competition, keep in mind that some, like cosplay events or the major gaming tournaments, might require early signups, so always be aware. Remember to always arrive early at your chosen events, because many are first come first serve, and the lines can get comically long depending on the event. Look, we all love to buy stuff that we don't necessarily need, and there's no better place to do that than Comic-Con. Stumbling upon that video game you haven't played in years, or finding that rare comic book issue, the temptation to purchase will be at a critical mass. So to resist this, give yourself a hard cash budget for the entire convention. This will force you to make the hard decisions and choose wisely. Now, I say cash because not all vendors accept credit cards, believe it or not, let alone alternative payments like Apple Pay and Venmo. And the last thing you want to do is miss out on that one thing you wanted because the vendors only accept cash, only for it to be gone when you come back around. Don't be afraid to negotiate prices with vendors, because at the end of the day, all they want to do is make sales. Just keep in mind that when negotiating for a lower price, it doesn't guarantee you'll get what you want, because depending on the item's rarity or quality, it could make the price of that item non-negotiable. So increase your odds by doing this on the final day, because that's when vendors are really trying to get rid of their inventory. Conventions are a great way to try something new and different, so experiment a little and go out your comfort zone. If you're shy, then make an effort to talk to people, or take up an event that you wouldn't normally have tried otherwise. You are at a convention after all, and there's a good chance many people there will share some of your interests. Now this may seem a little counterintuitive, but don't spend your entire time walking the convention halls. Go exploring around the town. Maybe visit that comic book shop you noticed on the way to the convention. Or try out that restaurant you never heard of right down the street. Believe me, it's these unexpectedly random moments that will forever stick with you, because you'll learn something new, and who knows what interesting finds you may encounter. I highly recommend anyone, and I mean anyone, with just a sliver of curiosity on what Comic-Con is all about, to give it a shot. You won't regret it. Now, there are countless other tips I've learned over my time attending conventions that would make this video way too long. So if you guys want a part 2, or even 3, in the future, then be sure to like this video to get my attention. Also, if you have other ideas on stuff you'd like to see, comment down below, or you can also find me on Twitter @HassyFit. There are a few videos in the pipeline that will cover an anime that took me nearly 10 years to watch, and a very stern letter to Sega on why they need to jump back into the console wars and create the Dreamcast 2 already. There's even more I plan to do, so if you want to stay in the loop, then subscribe right here to get the latest. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay nerdious.